but we are calling this episode State of the Workflow.
Yeah.
Because many have asked about how we go through our days being productive on both our phones and on our machines as well.
Many being you and me.
Yes, there are many. One tool I pay for that all my friends still clown me to this day is paying for, like a password manager.
I pay for...
I will
But that's
stick-
security.
Yeah, that's security.
I don't think...
I will die on that hill.
I mean-
and I'll be like, we should probably post our screen time.
I'll show you mine, but let's just say
It's very embarrassing.
it's all red.
I thought I'm productive. Oh, this is
Dude, the moment you said you can disable Opal, I kind of knew. So Dom.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Chief. I see you.
Actually,
No.
I realized I've not. I don't have any. I wrote all my notes on the book,
Oh, that's fine.
so
It's okay.
This is just a prop. Anyway,
But you'll have to display like a lot of the stuff you're doing on the machine.
to you.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
'Cause I
fair.
don't
That's fair.
follow. Okay. Mm-hmm.
So, I called you today
Yeah.
in preparation for today's episode.
Before even you called me, you're rocking some Salt Bay vibes over there. Do you want to tell our distinguished audience how we ended up with this calamity?
Yeah, I feel like the respect for me will go even lower, and my dignity cannot handle any less of a drop.
The first thing that we need to actually address here is
that
maybe we should do a poll. How many people walk with Swiss Army knives in their pockets?
I guarantee you, it's not zero. For me, I use the what's this?
The Bear Grylls.
The Bear Grylls Gabba that I just stabbed myself with.
Stab
But yes,
being the keyword.
stabbed being the keyword. There was this book that I had listened to on is it on audiobooks? Called The Science Delusion.
I remember you told me about it once,
Yeah.
like a while ago.
Yeah.
You were guessing that one. Okay, but anyway.
Okay, not really guessing, but it
Yeah,
felt
it's
so
very
insightful.
interesting.
Because we live in an age where the material is the only thing that we acknowledge as existing.
Yeah, it's really.
And so
it's really the philosophy of science.
it's the philosophy.
You
of
go by
science.
what is material. You go
Yes,
by
what you can see, what you can touch.
the evidence that you can prove.
Yes, and in his book, one of the things that he was talking about was how it's like there's a sense of intuition, or he calls them, I think, that the universe doesn't have laws, it has patterns, or it has habits that it gains or loses. And one of the things that he was using as an example is the fact that you can be thinking about someone and then they immediately call you.
And then you're like, oh yeah, I was just
What are-
thinking about you.
Yes, what are the odds? And I found it was so interesting because, again, it's not something that I can describe in any sort of way, like, scientifically, this is what happens.
Yeah, or prove
Yes.
materially, like
But
coincidence.
it's like like your mind somehow, you have a sense of clairvoyance that goes beyond. I'll never forget this. The day there was when I was in high school, I tried sneaking in with earphones so that when I go to the computer lab, I'd be listening to music. And the thing is, it wasn't the first time I'd snuck any kind of contraband, because I used to carry sometimes CDs, movies to go watch in school.
Your old high school teacher could be.
Oh yeah, I have to explain CDs, but
Anyway,
but then I remember that day as I carried it, I knew I was going to get caught, and it felt so real to me, and it didn't feel real in the sense in the fact that it was fear, because this wasn't something that I hadn't done before, and this was something that was necessarily, it wasn't the worst case. Even when you, of course, spoilers, I got caught, it wasn't even a big deal, because I was like, oh, I just left it in my bag.
Yeah.
I blah, blah. It's like, okay, they searched, couldn't find anything else because it was just earphones, but I knew it. I knew it.
that intuition.
And so sometimes, again, you think about someone or you think about something, and immediately, today, you said, the moment I called you.
Yeah, I was like, oh yeah,
Yes.
I just wanted to call you right now.
Yeah, and so I found that to be quite interesting.
Okay, so how does that tie back to the book? What's the
It talks
theory
about
here? What's the
how
argument here?
the scientific philosophy or the scientific dogma that we have today is that everything that we see, anything that we can, directly measure, see, touch, measure, is what exists, and nothing goes beyond
those senses.
Yes. But then again, and I think this maybe is a good way to describe it. The phenomenon of something such as quantum computing always strikes me as somewhat unscientific because it kind of goes against the intuition that we have about things.
Superposition.
Yes,
the whole idea of
something exists in it is here and it's not here at the same time. The Schrodinger's cat.
Schrodinger's paradox.
Yes, and I remember one of the things that they were saying is that an object can come can pass through like an obstacle, and again you think about like, how can matter pass through matter?
It should not.
It should not be possible. But in quantum,
it technically is and isn't at the same time.
So, and just to prove that it's something that goes beyond, that goes against
this normal scientific dogma.
In every movie, the moment they cannot describe something or something is like too big, they're like, oh, we just stuck a quantum. Yeah, I just stuck up like a quantum storyline. That's every Marvel. You just slap the word quantum.
It's possible.
Like, I'm not even open for debates anymore. It's quantum, okay? What else do you want me to tell you? It's quantum. And so that was quite interesting for me.
We should do a commentary on like script writing right now in movies. Hey, that deserves its own show, like, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah. So the idea here is, the delusion here is sticking with that dogma of everything that exists materially, but intuition per se is a strong case against that. So that's the delusion of the book. That's the thesis of the book, as it were.
It's calling us to a sense of humility with regards to thinking that we know it all just because we can measure. Like, again, I'll think about something such as light. Light, what we see is just a small part of the spectrum, and then of course we measure the waves and these other things, but they also have effects on the real world that we may not necessarily be able to measure or describe, but there probably is an effect, and so it's quite interesting. And then it also makes a case for, of course, going down this road is weird, because then someone can say, what, then what about astrology? I look at the stars and I know I'm going to have a good day.
Now we're getting into realms. Those are like deep waters that we're not gonna get into. But I like that. I'm gonna check it out.
An episode.
Yeah, the science delusion. You said okay.
The science delusion.
Okay, cool. Anyway, so today was supposed to be a really fun day, mostly for you. And for me to sit back, relax, ask questions, and maybe posit one or two ideas about how I go about my own thing. But we are calling this episode "State of the Workflow" because many have asked, but many have asked about how we go through our days being productive on both our phones and on our machines as well.
Many being you and me.
Yes, we're many. But we are few, but we are many. The idea here is we wanted to go through like a couple of tools that we use on a day-to-day and why we use them, for instance, and what's the guiding philosophy. The hope here is that we both, mostly me, can pick one or two things from each other, mostly me picking up a couple of things, but just to help my productivity and to help my daily workflow to become a tad better.
I'll throw the question now at you. What are the tools that you use to be productive on your phone?
On my phone, clutter is costly.
Clutter is costly.
That's my general idea on using my phone. I prefer having very clear, empty home screens with very minimal widgets and very minimal sub icons if need be. So I'm gonna share obviously you can see the screen recording here of just how my home screen looks like. Let's see. So this is how my home screen usually looks like.
Interesting.
I don't have any apps on my homepage. That's the first thing I really, really dislike.
Except those at the bottom.
Yes, except those at the bottom. And these are the bottoms I usually for really what a phone is meant for. That's calling people, and one of course is for my own personal conviction, which is the Bible app. So the idea here is, for me, is I want to hide away all my apps so that I don't get distracted with notifications and everything on different particular apps. So I would now put all my apps Okay, now this is an iOS thing, and I know you're gonna clown me and everything,
man.
but in iOS, like, I mean, all the apps are, like, they're just plastered on your home screen, and it's a very noisy place to be. I don't think iOS affords a lot of customization as much as Android, and so
the thing is, I'm looking at it and I'm asking myself, why couldn't you? I believe in iOS you can remove apps
Everything
from the home screen.
Yes.
Why couldn't you apply that same principle?
Or like
to this mess.
So now the thing is, I actually rarely go to this screen because I never go and start looking for my apps in the app folders. What I do instead is I have to know what app I want to open, and so I'm always spotlighting.
You're always searching.
I'm always searching. And I mean, the cognitive reason for me to do that is whenever I pick up my phone, I don't go where the notifications take me. I actually have to decide, I want to open this app. So I just created that as a forcing function so that I don't have to, at every time I pick up my phone, I'm just like, notification driven, or I have to go to where I see the most notifications.
I remember
that's the first. I'd say that's the first step. How I go about my
How
phone.
often do you run into the scenario where you just open your phone? You're like, okay, let me give an example. I'm doing something and I remember. Oh wait, I need to text my friend. I need to tell him this. You open the phone and you're like, what am I doing here? Or you open the phone and then suddenly you're on YouTube and like, wait, I feel like I was about to do something.
Okay, so what am I doing?
Now, that brings me into the conversation of tools. Before I even answer that one, I'll probably mention the key tool that I use on a day-to-day. It's an app called Opal. So I really love Opal. Opal, yeah. So Opal is basically a screen time recording buffer app. I think I'm on like a 79-day streak on this. So essentially what it does is between the hours of 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., it locks out access to YouTube, to Instagram, to social apps. So whenever I pick up my phone and it's already 8 a.m., I can't even actually get into any social media app. The moment I get into it, it's blocked. So I love that app because, first of all, whenever I pick up my phone and it's during a work day, I actually can't even access my social media apps. I only do that in my downtime after work hours, or, I don't even get up that early. I'm not really an early riser, so I wouldn't even get into apps like before 8 a.m. So I'm almost always getting into my social apps at night.
Does it provide an override? Because that's the one thing I
no. That's where everyone has their own checks and balances. I know for you, you're a scorched earth policy kind of guy, so you'd probably like not want an override. But yes, it does provide an override. And now I'm gonna just say this. I'm gonna put this caveat.
No.
Let me say 9 out of 10 times. 9 out of 10 times,
you see.
I stick with the Opal rules. Except for the days that it's a holiday.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Except every day is a 1 out of 10 times.
Except every day. Every one day out of the week is a 1 out of 10. Anyway, I'm joking. But really, when I think about it,
How often do you override Opal?
How often do I override Opal? I'd say once or twice every 2 weeks. I rarely do that because... actually, let me even explain even further. I don't have the screen timer thing like over the weekends. I only have it between Monday and Friday, which are usually my work days and the days that I want to be super productive. So the weekends for me are like, flex days. I can do what I want over the weekends. However, during the work weeks, as it were, I'd probably maybe override it once or twice over a week. And maybe it's because of a really, really specific function that I need. Let's say I genuinely have to jump into one of the social apps, but then the moment I get back out of it, I restart the timer. So I have done that. I know, but hey, here's the thing: you can actually choose to disable the override functionality.
So there's no kill switch. Okay, and let me ask: can you uninstall the app?
Yes.
Can you uninstall it anytime?
Yes. This is where the argument breaks down. I'm really curious to hear how you use yours.
I'm saying that because I have been... That's one thing I grapple with in the sense that I think some of these You see, as people who've built products, you, especially things that have to do with changing behavior, you know that there's that negative feeling that can come with something when you're trying to reinforce a discipline or bad habit. And what I've never quite understood is that I've never quite seen a product that goes completely scorched earth, where they're like, to be honest, I'd respect an Opal tool that
goes.
That's like, hey,
you can delete me.
You can disable me, but just for notice, I'll disable in 48 hours.
Okay.
So yeah, you have to plan, or like I'll disable in a week, so that when you really, and I don't mind them having it as, you know, an advanced or an extreme mode, where they're like, hey, and to give an example, and I know we'll touch on this a bit ahead. I bought a time lock.
Yes.
And something, I was going through the manual, and then immediately somebody wrote,
you can open.
Emergency open, the combination for the emergency open, and immediately I just closed my eyes, because like the moment I know the emergency open, this thing is useless to me. It's just like it's just a container.
So it's either extreme.
I literally closed my eyes, took that manual, threw it, and I think I tore it up, because I'm like, I don't want to know. I want to know that the only option I have is to destroy this thing. Otherwise,
it's not
effective.
It's not effective because you're going to access your phone.
Yes.
You know what? We're going to get into the time lock physical. You should have brought it at that point.
I should. But
anyway,
I'll link a picture to it.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that.
Here's the other thing. In terms of like, you asked a very big question on reminders, lists, and notes. I've played around with a bunch of apps. I think I've tried TickTick, I've tried Todoist. I find them very bloated, and to be honest, it's like a humongous cognitive load for me. So I have a very simple workflow on my phone, which basically just involves the typical notes app, the typical reminders app on iOS. And that's what I use for like things like shopping lists. I even have shortcuts to quickly tap to get into a shopping list, and then I just add it as a list on my notes. Or if I need to put in any reminders for things that I need to do some other week, I'd probably put it on my reminders list. But here's the thing: I never put my work stuff on my phone.
You never put your work stuff.
Yeah, I handle a lot of my work tasks on a separate tool on my laptop, and that's the one that I'll probably cover when we get into the laptop flow. I feel like I have a more defined productivity hack when I'm working on my machine, because I normally context switch. Whenever I get into work mode and I'm on my machine, I almost never touch my phone. Also because of Opal. So
there's this meme, I don't know if you've seen it, where it's like, the adoption curve, like the bell curve, where it's like, on the early end, people who don't know anything, they use reminders.
Yes.
And then in between are people like me who are using all these tools, workflows. And then once you become enlightened, once you get, now you go back to
pen and paper.
Now I just use reminders.
I know it's like a weird journey, because you start off.
You go through that hill.
You go through all the products.
I mean, you're down whether you have Notion. Yeah. Right there you have. I'm using TickTick and ClickUp, and I'm combining with this, and I have these workflows, and I've set up this automation on Zapier. And then one day, your phone gets lost, you just get tired, and you're like, hey, I'm just using reminders.
I actually have a very big question. Why should someone over-optimize for productivity on a phone? I mean, unless you're a content creator, maybe a social media manager, somebody whose work life is focused around the phone. I feel like a phone needs to be, very utility focused if you are to stay productive. Like, as little of your phone as you use, the more productive you are.
Yes, that's the main thing about
how you go
about the phone. No, about the phone. It's not necessarily that you want to do a lot on phone. It's that you're trying to prevent yourself from doing nothing because of your phone.
Okay.
It's like
a distraction.
It's like your phone has the keys to giving you a productive day by just staying out of the way, or it has the ability to just ruin an entire day. I speak as someone who has ruined entire hours and days.
How do you manage your phone?
How do you
manage productivity, or rather lack of phone usage, as it were, on a day-to-day?
Now, I should say I'm someone who likes to try a lot of apps. That's just something that I've always been fascinated by. From the first time I got my first phone, which was like a Nokia 500. I remember I used to just go buy bundles just so that I can browse the store and see, is there something I can try? Is there something I can try? So I've tried so many applications, and I think I've started to get to a point where it's like, okay, I don't have that zeal anymore. But then again, I've started to find things that tend to work.
Okay.
So for me, the first thing that came to mind was, first off, it starts with the launcher.
The launcher.
Yeah.
That's actually, I mean, I don't think iOS would never though.
You never get a launcher.
Yeah.
So,
but launchers are just,
yes.
every launcher, I remember, like every launcher has like a philosophy
Yes.
of how or why they did a particular launcher. I don't know if you still use this one, but when I used to be an Android stan, Smart Launcher. Year on year.
That's the few apps I've actually paid for. Mm-hmm. The main thing that I like about this application is that it gives me the ability to just remove the app drawer completely. Mm-hmm. And when I really want to be productive, this is all I'll have.
Just for context, the app drawer is
the list of apps.
The list of all the apps that you have on your phone. Okay.
When this is applied, the only thing I can do on this phone is to search.
I mean, I should probably replicate that. However, by default, iOS on the launcher, you still have
the drawer.
When you swipe right.
That's the one thing I really liked about it. So there are times when you want to get distracted. Like I just said, that sometimes you want to text someone, you open the phone and suddenly, I'm on YouTube, I'm on
Instagram, I'm on Next, I'm on whatever.
When I have it on this and when I have it on this mode, the moment I lock, the only thing I can do is search. So I need to know. And then the other thing I liked about it is when I'm searching, usually if let's say I'm talking to someone, even just opening, for me it's WhatsApp. The moment I open WhatsApp, I have like 15 conversations going. And then there's that curiosity, okay, what's going on here? Let me find out. And then suddenly I forget what I'm doing. So what I like to do is that when I want to talk to someone, I'll just directly search for them and I get the option to open directly
into WhatsApp,
into the chat, into that thread. So that I can just escape
the noise,
having to go through people, having to fight, this monkey brain that's more or less mush now.
Distraction. I mean, if there's anything that I'm seeing is a common thread when it comes to phone usage is what are the smart ways in which you're fighting distraction?
The smart ways in which you're fighting distraction.
Okay.
On my homepage, I have my to-do app of choice, which is TickTick. And I usually have
It has like a custom widget, I'm saying.
Yes, it has a custom widget.
I find it super noisy, though. My argument here is that it gives you... Okay, but maybe people handle it differently. For me, I feel like opening my home screen and seeing all the to-dos that I need to do today, I feel that to be very heavy with regards to making a cognitive load. I feel like that's to sit down and knock off my tasks one by one.
So now that's the second thing. You'll notice it's not in today, but it will be in tomorrow's list, is that I have a running to do for my morning routine. And
so you're one of those guys, the Saratoga water guys,
Saratoga what?
For wake up at 4:59.
No. So
the Ashton Hall stands, drown your face in like Saratoga water.
You have to drown your face in ice, man. You have to.
Bro, this is why.
No. What I do is that I try to leverage things that come natural to me with things that don't come natural to me.
Okay.
So when I want to have a good start of my day, there are some things I'll never not do. I'll always make my bed. I'll always brush my teeth. So my morning to-do list has like a list of like 10 tasks. It starts with, hey, take a shower. It's not something that is a problem.
It's a simple stuff.
It's a simple thing. But when I take a shower, I make my bed, I brush my teeth, and then
you almost always ease into what you need to do for
yes.
the day. Okay.
You're getting that dopamine hit from doing things that come natural to you.
Okay.
And then now it eases into now the harder things. Take a shower.
Everything in green.
Yes. Take a shower, brush teeth, make your bed, and then check your calendar. Because I've been victim to, those times when you're there and you're just chilling and you get a message like, hey, you're supposed to meet, and you're like, what? Who are you? Or at least, I forgot about this. So check my calendar. I just want to know, in this week, am I supposed to be meeting someone? Should I be preparing for something? The second one, plan my daily tasks. That's a to-do I have. Where it's like, I'll go through, hey, what are the things... Like I'll tell you, for me, when I'm putting down my tasks on to do, I must give them like a date. I won't just have an inbox of things I need to do. So when I'm adding something, I can show you here. I'll always say do this, and then I'll put wed for Wednesday, so that it can show up on that time. And when I'm planning out my morning, and I'll refer to the book that we are always talking about, The Algorithm to Live By, is that there's this principle of exponential backoff, which once I learned about it, I was like, I started using it on my task, and I really love it because it helps you mitigate risk, guilt.
You need to explain exponential backoff so that our audience at least can
Exponential
understand
backoff is, it comes from network configurations, where if you have so many devices using the same wires, the same network, the packets can conflict. So when a device sends a packet and then it doesn't get an acknowledgement as being received, then probably means something on the network. Packets are colliding. They're not. They're trying to use the network at the exact same time. So what happens is that if you don't get an acknowledgement, you will wait a minute, or rather you'll wait a random amount of time. So let's say you start with, I'm waiting for 1 minute, and then I'll resend this package.
Okay.
If I don't get that acknowledgement, I'll wait for 2 minutes, because the more I don't get that acknowledgement, the busier the network is. So when everyone starts to,
So it's like a traffic.
yes. So if you and me are sending packets and they're colliding, you will wait a certain random amount of time between 0 and 1 minute, and I'll do the same, a certain random amount of time between 0 and 1 minute. And
Whoever,
let's say yours is 10 seconds, mine becomes 15. So yours will go fast, and then mine, and without even communicating, we've managed.
Yeah, so basically randomize our wait time.
Yes.
And then one thing goes ahead of the other.
But then if you add like 5 more people, even me waiting, you and I choosing random times between that 0 and 1 minute still means we'll collide, because there are too many. And you can think over the scale of the internet, that's so many packets, colliding. So what you do is that for every time I have to resend a packet, I wait longer. So I'll start with, I'm waiting for
0 to 1.
0 to 1, then 0 to 10, 0 to 20.
0 to 20.
So you're exponentially backing off. So I try to use that same principle with some tasks to help manage my guilt of the fact that I'm just always procrastinating. So I'll have a task that says plan meeting with Dom, and then I set it for Saturday. Saturday comes, I'm like, not feeling this. I won't move it to tomorrow.
Tomorrow you move it to
I'll move
2
it
weeks later.
I'll move it to a week later.
You're exponentially backing it.
Yes, and then the next time I'll see it, I'll be like, okay, this thing I know I've pushed it for a while. Now let me push it to next month.
Yeah.
And then eventually some task just fades away
because of low priority. I think it's usually the idea of low priority versus high priority, low importance versus high importance type of spectrum. I think that principle for you is the way in which you rationalize how to prioritize the tasks to do.
There are some tasks that you just should not do, but you're not willing to say I won't do it.
No, I pretty much have a very, I don't know, I have a very different way of looking at it, but not really that different. But how I think about it is, I want to accomplish 3 main things. I'll
get to that. You're on the same page.
I inherently understand that I'm not gonna complete all the tasks that I need to do for that day.
Yeah.
So what I do when I plan my day, but I do that on my machine, of course, is I plan my tasks, organize them in priority, and then the small tasks I batch them into one, and then I also organize them in priority. And essentially what that happens is that I move them to my to-dos of the day, and then I do something called blitzing. I just blitz through it. Now I will knock them sequentially, one after the other.
One of the main reasons I use TickTick is this.
That's what I wanted to ask. Do you plan with TickTick on your phone, or it's probably it's cross-platform, so you can obviously use it on your machine.
And the specific reason I choose TickTick of all of them is, for me, something that I'm not willing to give up is how fast it is to capture a to-do.
Okay.
For TickTick, what that means is that if I'm on the lock screen, I can hold when I'm on the lock screen, holding the power button gets me to that, creates a pop-up, I schedule a to-do. And that for me is the main reason, one of the main reasons I use TickTick.
So on iOS, I actually achieved a kind of a similar workflow. 2 taps to switch into my reminders, to add a reminder. And usually how I think about it on my phone is I want to do, let me just say, non-work tasks. The day-to-day groceries, get meat, I don't know, like go to the gym. Like I want to be logging things that are not really for work, and anything more important, I'll put it in my calendar.
Yeah.
So
Something I picked from the book that I think feeds into how we think about this is, I was, but the algorithms to live by. There's an aspect when they talk about how the machine uses different levels of memory. There's
caching.
There's the RAM. We all know RAM. But then on top of that, there's the L1, L2, L3 cache. So cache is meant to be things that you are much more quickly accessible. The technology that uses it, that powers it is much more expensive because it has to be read much faster. So it can only hold a small number of things. So I try to use that same kind of philosophy where I'm using TickTick to just capture things quickly, but at the same time, for me, just using my notebook is like my L1 cache where I'll be like, okay, I've scheduled these things I need to do, and then I might even write it down. I remember there was a time I used to have a small notebook that I just kept on top of my desk where I'd write down ABC, and it's meant to be that level of thinking, because you see, having it on my phone, I want something to be in my line of sight at all times, where it's like, again, because of social media and how it's turned my brain into mush, I constantly need to remember, hey, this is what you're working on. And so I would have a notebook with like something I'm doing, or if there's something I'm reasoning about or planning to do, I might just be writing that down just to have it in my line of sight.
I mean, at the end of the day, nothing really beats pen and paper.
Nothing beats pen and paper.
I should have carried my weekly.
You know what's funny?
Because that's
this pencil, Faber-Castell, had it since 2020.
Yeah, you had this pencil for the longest time.
So there's that level of reasoning. When I'm doing project level or work level things, I'll probably use something like ClickUp or Notion. Correct. Because I go in detail. I
you have to break things down. You have to break down tasks.
But on my phone, I'll have my TickTick, which is more or less like reminders.
It's something that I think a friend of mine said, when you're solving problems serendipitously. Like when you're doing something so completely unrelated, that actually helps jog your brain to solve a very completely unrelated problem. And I find that, like, hitting me in the randomest of times. I told you I already picked up like hobbies like paddle and things like that. So I'd leave like a paddle match and I'm very high on endorphins, and then I start thinking about that problem, that work problem that I needed to start solving, I can begin to go about it this way. I should probably go down this thread. You just find yourself algorithmically solving a problem. So for me, my workflow for that is just pretty much opening the notes app and noting down my thoughts as they, in real time, as it were. Then I'll be like, oh yeah, for, let's say, trying to figure out this problem, I want to start here, maybe do some research on, manners or deep research or whatever. And then, okay, after I do that, I probably need to look into some templates here, blah, blah, blah. And most of the time you'd find that they're not even really coding problems, but they're really just generic work problems that are thought and broken down in like with a coding mindset, very algorithmically. Break down the task into small chunks, but you don't solve for them while you're on your machine or while you're working. It's maybe over a weekend. So for me, my notes app is basically my stash. Like, it's my stash to note down thoughts. It's my stash to note down, well, I'm not really big on journaling on my phone, but it's also my notes.
We'll have a time to talk about journals.
The journals, now I'm one of those guys who actually journals physically, but for quick musings, serendipitous moments, as it were.
Yeah. I'm going to drop a pro tip for something that I think I found quite useful, especially, I don't know if iPhone has it, but when I was using it, didn't, is that whenever I have a task to talk to someone, I'll write a message and then schedule that to be sent at whatever time. So it's like, if we say, hey bro, we need to plan for, I don't know, weekend getaway or we need to plan for this meeting, and you say, remind me tomorrow or remind me next week.
Yeah,
I'll literally write that message, hold send, say send next week Friday at this time, and then hit send. And then I just forget about it. And then I'll be working on my desk, and then I get a message from Dom. It's like, yeah, we should actually do this. I'm like, wait, when did I talk to you? And then I see that's when the message actually sent. Ooh. If you use a Samsung or I think if you use the
Android.
Google, if
Any
you use the
Google-
Android
and the Google
message app,
messages.
it should work well.
You know, like one of the most underrated things to say is probably how broken and ancient iMessage is, as in Apple. Surely fix that, man. Like
We need it now. We
it's-
need it now.
think that it's the de facto messaging app for a
It
continent
just
somewhere.
helps you. Someone will tell me, "Hey, remind me tomorrow to do this." I'll just type that message,
schedule
schedule it for tomorrow.
That is actually so interesting because now how I do that, it's so rudimentary. One, if I need to be reminded about something, I tell someone text me and I won't open that message so that I stay with that notification badge.
Yeah,
But I'll always remember to like preview the message.
Yeah.
But the only problem is if they send something else after that.
Exactly.
That notification is
I've
gone.
run into that problem so many times. Where you know how you just peek over the notification, like, oh, okay. But I'm not going to hit it as red because I need this to be a to-do. I need this to be a reminder.
I've only managed to achieve that with one mail client. It's probably super ancient still. Like they're probably newer, shinier tools. But Spark, it's something I would have covered on my laptop, but I also use it very extensively on my phone. But it's an email client that actually allows you to schedule sends. And I've noticed Spark now helps me with the work tasks for emails that I need to respond to, but I don't want to respond to them immediately because you know the way when you open the floodgate of emails, then everyone is now just pinging you an email. So what I do is I intentionally send. Okay, my boss will probably be watching this, but some emails are intentionally sent at the end of the day, so that somebody will review them at the start of their day and respond to me, so that now I can check it in my next day. But let me just call them very low priority emails. Those are the ones that I schedule the sends. Yeah, so we're good. We're good with that.
There was a time I had a principle of I don't open emails before midday, but not in my current job.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Different strokes, man.
yeah, the one thing you did want us to talk about is notifications and distractions. How we go about managing them. Because again, the device it has both keys to success and distraction. And those notifications, man.
I actually wanted to dig into your side because with the iOS updates, you can actually begin to turn on and off notifications for certain apps. I silence most notifications from apps that I do not need to see the notifications for. For some apps that I actually need. No, here's the problem. I've found myself that in the workflow that I am in right now, to need to see notifications from messaging apps like WhatsApp. And WhatsApp for me is like the bane of my existence. If somebody can give me productivity hacks for WhatsApp, I have started implementing a couple because I know we talked about this.
I'm going to stop you right there. Earlier in one of our previous episodes, I talked about how I'm waiting for WhatsApp to drop their AI so it can help me manage WhatsApp.
They dropped an AI.
During our last episode, immediately after recording, I opened my phone and I saw the
Llama.
AI. So I was like, yes, it's here. So I immediately hit and I asked it, which of my conversations can I mark as read? Which of my conversations can I hit? And then what it asked me, what it tells me, it asked me, which app are you using, by the way?
Wait, that was Llama.
That was Llama. So I'm like, is this some kind of special needs AI? Like, what? And then it starts telling me, it gives you the generic, it's like WikiHow, but for messaging. Is it check the thread? Is it something that mentions you? Like, you're just regurgitating things I already know. Just tell me. Yeah, and then I ask it again, okay, find charts that don't involve me and mark them as red. Again, it just asks me, to find charts that don't involve you, go look at the @ symbol. Go look and by the way, which app are you using? And this is like 2 weeks later. And I'm like, okay. Yeah, if only I can just tell you to shut down, come back when you're agentic.
That's the funniest thing.
Facebook, get it together, man. Don't ask me which app I'm on.
Everyone thinks about implementing AI very interestingly. I find Mark Zuckerberg and his approach for integrating Llama into WhatsApp like one of the most useless ones, to be honest. If I needed another ChatGPT, I would have probably opened ChatGPT and gone ahead. In fact, they should have even. They probably have.
There is
Bring it out as like a different product, but don't bring it into WhatsApp if it doesn't really help.
I'll actually disagree with you there.
WhatsApp.
They have the distribution of WhatsApp. So maybe they're what they're eyeing for is, hey, you'll be talking to someone, and then you'll have a question, you'll have something to, or you'll be trying to add something. So giving it that surface where you're probably already there. The reasoning behind it, or how I think, and I'm sure it's probably successful for them, just simply due to the fact that it's there on WhatsApp. It probably has a level of engagement more in tune with when you're texting or when you're talking to people. There are some things you might want to ask or to find out, and Llama is just the fastest way. I think that's what they're banking on, as opposed to having it as its own app. It will just start, and again we go back to the discussion on distribution. If they have the Llama, the Meta chatbot as its own application, then it's just competing with ChatGPT and OpenAI on the app drawer. But if they have it on WhatsApp, then I'll be texting someone like,
that's distribution.
I wonder where avocados come from. Uncle can ask.
Fair use case. Maybe they should just integrate it.
I just want it to be useful.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
Just make it useful. Don't ask me again, which I also disappointed, man.
Okay. Let's go back to
notifications.
We almost went into that WhatsApp rabbit hole, and I knew it had the potential for that.
When we were preparing for this episode, there was one notification, one app that I was hoping to put our users on called Daywise. What it does is that it allows you, I think it's the best app for managing notifications on Android that there is, because what it does...
Is it on iOS? Let me check.
I don't think it's on iOS, but you can check. What it does is that it lets you set a schedule of the times you want to receive notifications. So I'll set between 10 and 12, I don't receive notifications. And then between 2 or 12 to 1, I don't want to receive. So that in between those times, you'll get all notifications in one, and it just saves you... It reprograms your brain so that you're never expecting for notifications, except, let's say, like from specific people or from specific apps.
It's basically Opal for notifications.
Yes. And what I liked about it is that, especially for WhatsApp, I could go down to, hey, from this person, allow the notification to go through. But from all these other groups or all these other people, do not let it go through. And the only reason I didn't use it was that it was a paid feature. Honestly, now that I thought about it, I'm like, maybe I'd consider paying it. I think the subscription cost was a bit high. So if you do want a free cost, a zero cost application for Android, you can use one called Nap. It's really nice, but you just have to do a lot of the tinkering yourself. You have to set the schedules, you have to set the people. You're the one who has to do the heavy lifting in terms of configuring it. But Daywise, I checked the store, they're not there anymore. I think.
Oh yeah, I haven't actually.
Yeah, I think the subscription was too high.
Yeah. I think. Okay, first of all, I'm a big believer in just pay for tools that you find a lot of value for. One tool I pay for that all my friends still clown me to this day is paying for, like a password manager.
But that's security.
Yeah, that's security.
I don't think
I will die on that hill, and I'll be like,
if it's a password to your bank,
yes.
You want someone to receive money, because then there's an expectation.
Unpopular opinion: don't use the big tech password manager. Don't use your browser's password manager. The Google password. Nah. Look for a very specific.
As a Google employee, please use the.
That's one hill I'm gonna die on. Don't trust your passwords.
For me, I use tools that cut across both platform.
Yes.
Available on mobile and on
web.
And cut across all OSs.
Yeah.
So
and there are many.
Yeah, so password manager like one on Chrome can't work for me, because when I'm using it on an iPhone, what's
your password manager of choice?
Dashlane, man.
You're on Dashlane.
We are both on Dashlane.
Yes.
Anyway, so
I think
for notifications, please check out Daywise. No, it's not anymore. check out Nap.
Or even use the iOS. For the iOS users, you can actually granularly control like notification management on iOS. I probably should tinker it with it a little bit.
We should probably do an episode, and then we'll feature how to set things up.
Yeah.
Do let us know in the comments whether you want such a thing. Do let us know whether these tools are things that you
You
prefer.
want to use.
Yeah. But with that, Dominic, I think we'll have
With
to
A2
do a part 2 because we
Yes.
didn't even get the time to talk about our
laptop.
how we
Laptop
use
works
our machines, which are the main way that we get productive.
doing
Please like, share, subscribe. If you're unsubscribing, don't forget to hit confirm. Follow us on. Are we on X?
No.
Follow us everywhere that is not X.
any platform.
For us, literally on any other platform.
Yeah.
And
Too distraction oriented.
yes, we'll see you guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys on the next episode. Peace.